They look great. They match your back. Oh my God, they look so good.
Thank
Blue,
you.
that's like the dress that nobody could decide what color it was 7 years ago.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what color was it for you?
I think it blue and yellow.
I know, but what color did you see it?
I think I saw it as blue and yellow, but I saw it as if it was like very bright light, it was one color, and if it was dim, it was another. So that's how I was able to see it. But I don't know about other people.
Yeah, it looked white and gold for me.
Okay, gotcha. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I am coming at you today with a. So I put this as a podcast, but you put it as what? What did you title it?
Glitch Wake Blue.
Oh, Glitch Wake Blue. Okay. I can see that because we do talk about glitches in the Matrix. There's conspiracies. There's a bunch of stuff I did want to talk about.
I definitely need to hear about this Pokemon story. I've been waiting all week. I need to know.
So first off, how are you? How is the last few weeks
I'm
been?
good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Do you have any New Year's traditions? Do you have any things that you go in and you say like, yeah, we do this every year?
No. Although I watch the ball drop usually, but I don't. Honestly, I think it's like low-key millennial trauma. Like, I watch the ball drop just like hoping nobody like blows it up or anything. I don't know. It's like after the ball drops and everything's fine, I'm like, okay, no one do anything stupid this year.
Okay, my friend Matt he's a New York City police officer, and he's been on the New Year's detail for like the last 7 years, and he's close to retiring, so he's like, hopefully this is the last year I ever have to do this detail. Which that seems fun. Like
Have you ever gone?
I've never gone to Rockin' New Year's Eve at Times Square. I've never done that.
It looks like a nightmare. I like the idea of it, but logistics, I'd probably be miserable.
So apparently being in the front, or at least in that little square thing that everyone's in, is similar to giving birth, because if you have to go to the bathroom, you just go. And
I saw the article about it. They were like, oh, misery in adult diapers, like going to New Year's Eve in Times Square. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I knew it. But the crowd looked less miserable than normal this year. It didn't, there was no rain. They didn't look totally freezing. So
yeah, maybe that was why. I mean, it seems fun. It seems like, they have performances, they have different things. You probably make friends that are around you. I could
you
picture.
probably do. You probably would make friends around you.
Yeah, I think I make friends pretty easily. The Uber driver that we have, or that we had that one time, I don't know, we made friends with her. I don't remember what we talked about. Do you remember?
Your foray into male stripping. That's what we talked with the Uber driver about.
Forgot about that. Okay. What's up, William Kiefer saying, let's go. He's coming on the podcast next week. It'll be great. Omar saying, good evening. Dog Boy saying, what's up, Randy? Hi, Zen. I was hanging with Dog Boy last week. He's him and his wife are great people. We love them. Megan Slattery saying, meow, meow. Chavi loves wearing diapers. I don't think I've ever worn a diaper after 2.5, I guess. I don't know what age you stop wearing diapers.
I've given birth, so that's a thing. Like, no shame. Like, that's a thing as far as healing from birth. So
that's fair. Anyway, so this Pokemon stuff. Let me take a swig for this. Also, have you ever had On the Rocks?
No.
It's a type of drink where they make like a margarita, and it's mixed with tequila, but it's already made. You don't have to mix it with anything. And it's called On the Rocks. And I've had it. My friend Teresa gave it to me years ago, and I've always enjoyed it. But I had a deal closed today. I was like, okay, let me celebrate. So I got some. And so DoorDash, with the DoorDash pass, they gave me from Kroger, it was a 30% off coupon. I was like, okay, but it was only after $70, and I only needed like $50 worth of stuff. So I was like, okay, let me put in some alcohol here, get it up. But they like, no, you can't use this DoorDash code with
Oh,
alcohol. So I had to X out
you're
of the
lucky.
alcohol. I had to
You're
put more
lucky.
stuff in.
You're lucky you're even in a place you can get alcohol delivered. We still can't here. I know there's a couple states you can, but we cannot
Oh,
here. I know.
that is horrible. I'm sorry,
I'm like, you
man.
know what? You're probably risking lives when people decide they need more and they shouldn't, and now they got to drive.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the guy that he goes to drive home, but he feels that he's a little drunk, so he just, he turns on the radio, he leans back, takes a nap. But a cop goes up to him and gives him a ticket because technically he's operating a vehicle, even though he's just listening to the radio and laying back and he's not actually driving. Gives,
What?
gives him a ticket. He goes to court, and the judge asks, do you understand, what you did wrong, and what will you do next time? And he says, yes, next time I'll just drive home. Because apparently, if you do the right thing and you just chill, you get fucked anyway. So he said, "I'll just drive home." I was like, "Wow, that is very brave." Anyway, so I go back. I enter more things. I get up to the over $70. It takes 30% off. That is great. And then I decide, you know what I'll do? Now I will add to the order, and I'll just get. I think it was supposed to be $36 worth of alcohol between the both things. But then it wound up being $60. I was like, what the heck? Like,
Oh,
I don't know why that did that. I just said, heck it. It's 2 degrees outside. I don't want, so anyway, um, the bottle was drank, and now I called my friend Teresa. I was like, this tastes a little different. She says, put some lime in it. And I got a couple of limes, but I got it for the girl that's coming, the girlfriend that's coming this weekend. So I was like, you know what? I will not cut the new limes that she might want. I'm just going to put some lime Trulies in it. And so now I'm lit. Anyway,
I don't know. Something's going on with my stream. For
what's your
somehow it
stream doing?
didn't. I don't know. It didn't link.
Oh, are you sure? No, oh, yeah. It says,
Yeah.
looks like your guest stream was deleted on YouTube. We informed them so they can
Yeah, but
fix it.
I have the link that I posted is working. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, go. Nicholas Talbot talking about Stranger Things says, do you think Ella's alive? What do you think of Byler? You are not caught up on that, are you?
I'm sorry, what did you ask about?
It's spoilers for Stranger Things. I will say yes.
Oh,
Yes,
I have not caught
yes,
up.
Nicholas, I believe that. And it looked like at the end, the
Mm.
last thing you talked about didn't work out, but maybe one day. I mean, I think that it could happen at least for a night. So I do want your opinion on this before we get to the Psyduck AI thing. Maybe this is the TISM talking, because everyone, the two people I brought this up to, be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Don't ever bring this up to normal people." But I feel like you were of a higher mind.
I definitely want to know now.
Okay, so if, let's say, like, I know I don't like pineapple because I've tasted it before. Therefore, I don't like pineapple on pizza. But I've tasted pineapple before, so it's like, okay, you're not a pineapple eater. But there are some people that like pineapple and they like pizza, but they still refuse to have pineapple on pizza because in their minds they're just like, I don't want it, I never want it. And no one should ever force them to have it. But do they really know that they don't like it if they've never had it?
Yeah, flavors change in different dishes for sure. And then when you pair it with different things, it'll
And
taste
as you get
different.
older.
So, yeah, because there's a lot of food. I was a very picky eater. I don't eat my vegetables, but I've also heard lots of, I know. But I've also heard lots of, oh, well, you just haven't had it this way and that way. So I have
Okay.
found that to be true. I do like certain foods only cooked certain ways, but then I don't like it raw or just on its own.
So Byler is talking
Pineapple on
about.
pizza is definitely different than just regular pineapple.
So Nicholas Talbot here is talking about Byler, which is Will and Mike. That's some people ship, and it's kind of seen that in the earlier seasons that Will might be a little we might play for the other team. And I think that going back to my pineapple reference, like me, that's someone that has pineapple and no, I don't like it. I definitely don't like pineapple. But then someone that has never had pineapple on pizza, but do like pineapple, we shouldn't force them to do it. But how do they know? Like they can't know. So in that same breath, I would argue that someone, let's say a guy in college when they're drunk, let's say they boink another dude. And
I
then
wondered if you were going this way with it.
and then that dude knows. He's like, you know what? I tried it. Wasn't for me. Didn't like it. I'm actually anti. Maybe he's a little homophobic now because he disliked it that much. But that dude knows for a fact that he doesn't like dudes. Whereas somebody, let's say like me, that's never been with a dude in really any capacity, I say I don't like dudes, but I've never tried. So even though I'm like 99.999% sure that I wouldn't like it, like I've never hit myself in the face with a hammer. I don't need to do that to know that I won't like it.
Right.
But I've never done it. So I technically don't know. So I think for the case of Byler, where Mike Wheeler, I think one day if Will gets him drunk enough, he can convince him to say like, you know what, I'm gonna try it, and whatever Will is, top or bottom, they can do it, and then I think for a night they could, they could try it, and then Mike would know for sure, or he discovers something new about himself. We don't know. Anyway, that's Stuck on the island, you go to bring 2 people dead or alive. You have 3 items. What do you bring? Is there animals on this island? Can I hunt them? Can I fish? Can I eat? Can we survive? What were the odds of us?
People. Well, we need a brute guy and a smart guy. Right?
Do we?
We need a big, strong guy that could like build and break stuff. We need a smart fuck. 3 items. Jesus. I don't know.
A gun with a single bullet, so I can off myself in case I don't like it. I don't know. I don't want to.
I'm sure we can find a cliff for that.
But what if you survive and you're just like paralyzed? Like, no.
We'll try again. We'll try again.
Try again. How many times do you want me to do this?
Do it right the first time, like, dive.
Okay. All right. All right.
What items are we bringing? A phone.
With what charger? What are you charging it with then?
They're coming to get us.
I would bring a flare
gun.
Not
a phone. Maybe we need a Starlink. We need a Starlink to make sure we get service.
A Starlink and a phone, because with a fully charged battery pack, so that this way. Okay, yeah, that would work.
Okay, and then we need one of those. We need one of those like 80 million tools in one thing, right?
No, just a Starlink, a phone, and then a battery pack that is fully charged. So yeah, even a Starlink and a fully charged phone would be fine.
We're getting out. They're coming to find us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, Meg, we were definitely talking about something else. Agreed. Pineapple on pizza is gross. Oh, he likes peanut. He likes pizza and pineapple. I've had both together and they don't belong. Okay, interesting. Meg says it wasn't hinted. It was 100%. Well, some people haven't seen the final season, Meg. Lonnie calls Will's up. That's true. His dad calls him a FAG. Shall we just answer the question 2 people 3 times? I mean, it doesn't matter who I choose because the 3 items would help us get rescued anyway. saying you
So I
aren't.
guess if the world is over, then that's a totally different thing, and we're not trying to leave. Then we're trying to survive, right? But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get off. I'm not trying to figure out how to be stuck there.
Nick, I think, is drunk, is asking if I'd rather choke a dog with my bare hands or choke a bear with my dog hands. Guess it depends on the size of the bear.
Probably want bare hands, right? I
Well, you
mean,
can't really. Well,
thumbs.
oh yeah, he is
Bears
saying
got
bear.
thumbs. Do bears have thumbs? Right? Thumbs.
No, not well. They
No,
don't have. They're not thumbs like
thumb-ish.
ours. They're not
Thumb-ish.
opposable. They're
More
just
than dogs, right? Better than dogs.
well. They're not opposable thumb. They're just like they're. So it's hard to choke. I mean, you could choke still with your. Well, he's
No,
saying with the hands though.
you want to choke a dog with bare hands. We're gonna get the job done.
Yeah, that's
With a
true.
dog hands, how are you gonna choke a bear?
I mean, if it's a baby bear and you're a massive dog. Yeah, Maggie Ray says it first. Anyway, let's get to the Psyduck thing, because I know you said you were curious about that. So
I am.
first, I have to ask.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm hanging on. I'm lying in wait. Running with patience for the spring, the flowers will bloom anew again. Knowing there's more.
Just reposting the link. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Knowing there's more beyond the pain of today. Aw, Chief says hi. That's our little black doggo. I love them. Okay, anyway.
All right. Psyduck. How did this happen?
So I think it starts with Vanity Fair and VeVe, where VeVe has given many press releases saying that, hey, we have Cookie Monster, we have Elmo, we have Big Bird, we have Bert and Ernie coming to VeVe. And they've done all of those, and they've done exceedingly well. But Vanity Fair has picked up that press release, and they've covered it, and they're saying, like, your favorite characters coming to the blockchain. They're becoming NFTs. And if you take a look at the people that requote that tweet on X, all of the negative responses, the profile pictures are kind of the blue hair, got the multiple piercings crowd that, like, you can tell that they probably have pronouns in their bio, which is fine. Like, whatever people want to be called, I'll call them. That's fine. You want to be called Prince God or Princess Goddess Zen Alegra, I'll call you that.
Same. I don't care.
Yeah. But the things that they say are, this is the worst news ever. Cookie Monster's an NFT, and everything in my life is worse now. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. Like, the mood and their entire view on life was made worse by the fact that some of their favorite characters were going to go on a carbon neutral blockchain that is a net neutral. It's not even a net negative. I don't know if it's a net positive. I think it is a net positive because of the fact that they're on a carbon neutral blockchain, and instead of people buying a Cookie Monster, let's say like a fig pin or a Funko Pop or something physical that is made of plastic that will eventually end up in a landfill, it's something carbon neutral that is not going to do that. So I think it is a net positive. But in that same breath, I'll say there was this kid. He seemed younger. He seemed like he was like 20 or below. He posted a video. It might have been from Sora. It might have been from somewhere else of a Psyduck. So it's a Psyduck appreciation group. There's over 9,000 members. And any posts are approved by me immediately as long as they have anything to do with Psyduck. And if it's Pokemon related but not Psyduck related, they'll be approved on Sunday.
Okay, hold on. Why do you have a Psyduck Facebook group?
So it wasn't mine. It wasn't mine originally. It was I had just liked it for reasons, because Psyduck is cool. I saw some posts from there.
Okay, clearly. Okay.
So there's actually 2 pending posts right now that I have to approve, but it's 9,700 members. There was only about 9,100 members when this whole shindig went down.
So did you just offer the mod? Were they just looking for mods and you just...
Kind of. So here's like, what do I do when I have bulk energy? I'll approve that on Sunday. This one is all about Psyduck, so I'm going to approve that one right now. Anyway, yeah, I liked it, and then this girl Amy, who was the main mod there, she's like, "Hey, you're very active. Do you think you could be a mod?" And I was like,
Okay.
"Sure, I guess." You know, always looking for, especially with over 9,000 users. Powerful. Okay, I'll take that. So this one kid made a video, whether it's Grok, it didn't have the Sora tag, so it probably wasn't Sora. And it was...
You can pull the tag off, though. There's sites where you can pop it in and download it through the site and take the tag off.
Okay.
Just FYI, so it could still be Sora.
Okay, so it might have been.
Yeah, I like the tag on there, though, so I leave mine, even though I hate where it's placed sometimes, but I like giving people the heads up.
Yeah. So it was a 10-second video of Psyduck. He's on a skateboard. He's doing his thing. He falls. He hits his head on a tree, and then he goes, "Psy!" And then the psychic power comes out. I was like, "Bro, this is so cool." So already, so I approve it. I forget about it, and then 20 minutes later, I'm just going through Facebook. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that I approved this. Let me like it. Let me comment." And already there were some negative comments. So immediately I like it. I was like, "Hey, this is really cool. I hope I see more from you. Keep up the good work."
Mm.
Because if that person was anything like me, as far as drawing artistic capabilities, I have zero of that. I'm a very good writer. I'm extremely creative, but I can't draw. I'm just very horrible at it. And if he's like me, and if he can't draw himself or make videos himself, AI is a way that he can go and he can say,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, this is what I want. This is my dream come to life," and it wouldn't have happened any other way. But the comments, like there was 2 comments that I had to delete because it was like horrible. It's just like, one is like, "What is this AI slop? Go fucking kill yourself. Like this is awful. Like I never want to see this on this fan page again." Another one was slightly less horrible, and it was just like, "Listen, I don't know if you're a piece of shit or if you just don't know any better, but this is awful for our environment. You are right now a very bad person for doing this. I hope you like be better." And even though these people that were commenting, their hearts very well may have been in the right place, because I did a post on this. I was like, "Hey, listen, I talked to the other active mod that was here. We decided that art is art, and we're very against censorship, and we don't want to censor anything that can be perceived as art. And also, this is the future." And I explained like, okay, hate won't be tolerated. The comments that I had to delete were atrocious, blah 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 blah. And most people were just like, "Cool, like whatever." Some people are just like, "Hey, like I don't necessarily agree, but as long as the timeline's not completely corrupted with like 99% AI slop, whatever." And most of it's not. There's not a lot of people that do that, but there's a bunch of other people that, again, their hearts, I think, were in the right place. We're like, "Listen, this is very bad for the environment." And I went deep down the rabbit hole looking at, have you ever gone down that rabbit hole to see what the environmental impact is of AI?
I was just thinking about how I need to look over that again, because I do know that when I looked over it, that it's definitely a little inflated. And especially as we're moving more towards the water issue always keeps coming up, but I know as they keep building data centers, the closed water systems are being used more. So that's where I'm wondering if all of these, oh, we're using so much water. Well, if they're just recycling it in these closed loop systems, are you counting just each time they use it in the loop? Because in the closed loop systems, once they're filled with water, they're not pulling more water back out. They're just recycling the same water. So I know that's becoming more common with the data centers that they're building. So I do need to look more at the numbers because I think it's inflated. Is that what you found?
There are, first off, if everyone can go in and smash that like button, that is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, especially the super thanks button down below, super chats as well. Anyway, what I found is that there are a couple of sets of numbers, one of which is by OpenAI with Sam Altman, where it's like, okay, you have like a fraction of like 1% of 1% of 1% of a teaspoon, like 1/15 of a teaspoon of water that's used with every query. And okay, fair. Or I think it's even less than that. And then there's some very liberal science work that says like, well, by 2030, I forget the year, it's like they're going to be using like trillions of gallons of water. Like it already uses as much water as a major water company like Nestle, like Aquafina, like whatever. And both can technically be true because yeah, one query, like if you ask ChatGPT, which we're on 5.0 now, right?
5.2.
Okay, so I don't know if it's 5.2. I know for 5.0, it's like Johnny Walker Blue, where it's a mixture of like these high-end whiskeys and scotches that are all blended together. And 5.0 can use 5.0, or it can use 4.0 or 3.0, or it, depending on the question, it could use any of the either 5.0 or any of its predecessors before then. And yes, each query is like 1/15 or I think even much less than that of a teaspoon of water. But every time you ask a question, if it's a simple question, yes, it's one query. But if it's a complex question, it will talk amongst itself and determine, and it could be multiple queries before it gets back to you. And however long it thinks is however much, multiple teaspoons or 1/18 of teaspoons that there are. And that is fine, because it's still a relatively small amount. A 1/15 of a teaspoon or an actual teaspoon or half a teaspoon doesn't really matter. That's pretty small. But then you get to how it got there and the training models for it, because it has to train amongst itself, and that's never shut off. That's 24/7. And so what I typed in, I was like, listen, we know right now that I wrote this down because it took me a while to find it. And I had gone over it in another, it was a video about nuclear fusion that I did. So there's this guy, Richard Meyer, who's the head of policy for the American Gas Association. And it said that in a best case scenario, he was asked how many gas turbines do you think can deploy in the US in the next 5 years? And his optimistic answer was about 50 gigawatts. Basically, every forecast that you see from people in that community are estimating between 150 and 200 gigawatts of new capacity on the grid over the next 5 years. So what people are fundamentally misunderstanding about this moment is that the regime that has been built in a market with no load growth, and now we're currently experiencing more load growth on the grid than at any other time except for like 1945 when people were coming back from the war. And yes, this is right now a net negative on the environment, and everyone that's using AI is technically doing a very, very small, minuscule, slight disservice because of the water that it uses. But so is every new technology, whether it was the internet, whether it was a car, whether it was radio. It's all very expensive until it's not. And then technology gets better. And then people are not seeing the forest for the trees are in the way. And the fact that AI is expensive now, it'll get less expensive in the future. But it's also going, because it's smarter than every single one of us in most things, it is talking about solving some of the things that we can't solve on our own. And once it can help do that, whether it's fusion, fission, whether it's wells, radio, like whatever it is, the net positive impact, like we don't know how far that can go. And there's a chance that maybe it never gets to that level, but I think it's a very small level, or a very small chance of that. I think the chance that it can get to those levels where it solves these problems and is a net positive to humanity is quite large. But trying to explain this to these people, they don't get that. They're just like, all I know is it's horrible for the environment. Are corporations making money? Yes. Is it causing higher electricity and utility bills for the people that are around the data centers? Yes. This is horrible for people in the middle to lower class, but it's benefiting people in the upper class, and that's all they're looking at. They're not looking at anything else more than like 3 years out. And the same people that were saying that, if you look at their profiles, they look exactly the same as the people that were very anti-NFT for these, the Sesame Street NFTs. And I can't help but hypothesize that it is the far left that has this lower IQ that is just not able to comprehend or understand the future. And I really want to know your thoughts on all of this. I know I've talked for multiple minutes here. Go crazy. Go give us the Zen feedback.
First off, yeah, with the energy thing, I know that's one of the reasons like OpenAI keeps pushing everyone onto their newest model, because from what I read, it's either 40 or 50 times, but from 4.0 to 5.2, like I think they said it's like 40 times more energy efficient. So it's like that's why they're really trying to shove everyone over there, is that when they keep coming out with these new models, they are figuring out a way to do it with less energy. So I think that's just going to keep compounding. If within a year they can cut it down to, 40 times more efficient, and that's just within a year. And then as AI also gets smarter and can help us with these issues, like, who knows how much energy it's going to take in 2 years versus now. What was the other stuff you mentioned?
The lower IQ and maybe putting it to
yeah, I've kind of noticed that too, not to make it a left versus right issue, but it seems like a lot of the AI hate is coming from the left. Why do you think that might be? Do you think they're worried because AI might lean more towards research than just emotional biases? Do you think maybe they're worried about that they're...
The left? No, I think they, and this is I think a pretty far reach that I'm grasping for here, but I think the far left is what happens when you get far away enough from our base reason for being here, or our base desires, that there's no great enemy. There's no great, you don't have to worry about, tigers or lions or bears or like anything. And there's so many, or there's at least enough dominant masculine men to fight wars and be in the military that, most of humanity doesn't have to deal with that. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't have to deal with that and you still want to, there's what's called like the masculine urge to like bleed out on a battlefield. And I know some very left people that like feel that way, and they think that like, Donald Trump is like, I remember CNN last year, or I guess 2024. So it's, like a year and a half. Happy 2026, everybody.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, Donald Trump is hosting a rally at Madison Square Garden, the same that Hitler did in 1938, whatever. And it's just like, okay, so did fucking Bill Clinton. Like, are you gonna call him a Nazi too? Like, this is, that's insane. Like Jay-Z had a concert there. Do you think that, he's one as well? So I think that these people get very almost excited about the fact that not necessarily bad things happen, but that they have something to fight against. And there's like, they can choose to fight against something with really no negative cost to their own, because they try to claim to have the moral ground. They try to claim to have the high ground morality wise. And they don't get shot at. There's like almost zero, there's like zero chance of death. So that's my idea on why they, and some people don't like Donald Trump, and other things why, because he says things that are a little unhinged. Fair. But I also think a lot of people have been indoctrinated because they, from a very young age, a lot of teachers have gone to liberal schools. They go from teachers that have gone to liberal schools to go into liberal schools themselves. And then, that famous lie, you say something enough and, people start to believe it. If from a very young age, they're indoctrinated from that point for like 5 or 6 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you think that the left is worried about AI because they're worried that the stories they've been peddling aren't really backed by research?
That's hard because, I mean, none of us really know. And it is scary because it, aside from the Pokemon stuff that we'll get into, it's smarter than, I don't want to say it's smarter than, although it is, it's more efficient than us about, like, you ever see that meme be like, yeah, I'm like the fastest at math ever. Like, okay, what's 15 times 15, 79. It's like, no, it's not. Like that's wrong. It's like, but it was fast. AI, it goes to the most popular articles on Google. Like, you ask it something and it can tell you something very, very quickly. And most times it's got a very high percentage of doing things quicker and more accurate than most of the population. But if you specialize in those fields, it might take you a little bit longer, but if you specialize in a field that you're asking ChatGPT, you yourself will give any other human a better answer than ChatGPT will, even though ChatGPT will give it to you much faster. It'll give you a general idea of it. This was proven, medicine, Pokemon, physics, math. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah. It definitely needs its handheld, because if you can't check it, if you're not able to see where it might be going wrong and leaning on wrong information, yeah. I do think ChatGPT plus someone in their field, I think that when the AI and that person bounce off each other, you can get some new ideas and get somewhere. But yeah, someone who doesn't have a basis in trying to dig deep into something is probably going to end up with wrong information.
Yeah. So that was the Psyduck AI thing that everyone was crazy about, and it's
Okay,
like,
so everyone blew up about that. How did that turn into being on a mission to train?
so
Oh wait, how are we getting there?
so as this happens, and it's and people are so enthralled in, like, and they're so fired up, and that's what I love about humans. Like, even if they're wrong, they still get fired up about, like, yeah, like, we hate this, and people were, so I remember in like 99, 2000, where I read an article that it had SpongeBob with his jellyfish like net going after Pikachu, and it's like more kids are starting to watch SpongeBob than Pokemon. And I loved Pokemon so much that I actually stopped watching SpongeBob for several weeks.
Wow.
Because like I didn't want it to take over. And I was like, you know what? Even as like a 10, 11-year-old, like you can watch both. Like it's okay. And I think these people were saying that like, yeah, AI is horrible. And I commented on a few of the comments. I was like, listen, we can agree that AI right now is a net negative for the environment, but ignoring the future positives that it can create, Disney just gave OpenAI $1 billion so that Sora can go in and they can start making content for Disney because they know where that's going. Right now, you have a lot less people going to the movies, and it's more expensive to make movies than it has been ever before. And Disney sees where this is going, and that's why they want to get this content, at least the ideas out. And once they get the ideas and some of the content, they can go from there. And if Disney's given $1 billion to that for Sora to make unlimited amounts of content for them, people like there's a lot of people's dads that are watching like the Bigfoot vlogs, and like if you're watching a video, you're supporting it. And I don't think that a 30-second Bigfoot vlog on YouTube or a 10-second video about Psyduck is really moving the needle anything at all. So I was like, this is why like it's really kind of a moot point. Like, but these people were removing themselves from a Psyduck page that they enjoyed because of their principles, and I do have to respect that for sticking to their guns a little bit. But then I just YouTube like AI Pokemon, and it's like, you ever see Zach and Miri make a porno?
Wait, what?
You ever see Zach and Miri make a porno, the movie?
No.
It's so good. Elizabeth Banks and Seth Rogen. That is such a good movie. They, Justin Long, he looks at Elizabeth Banks and he's like, "Oh my god." So Justin Long plays like a gay porn star, and he's like, "Oh my god, granny panties." And she's like, "What?" And Seth Rogen's like, "How can you tell that she's wearing granny panties?" And he's just like, "I just typed in gay and ass, and she's the first person that came up." And the long story short, she had some granny panties on, and I typed in AI and Pokemon, and the first thing that came up was this guy that had asked ChatGPT. He's like, ChatGPT plays Pokemon, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. Let me click on this." So he says like, it's like this long video is like, I gave ChatGPT all the information on how to play Pokemon Fire Red. For those that don't know, Fire Red is a remake of the first generation, but it has a lot of Gen 3 characteristics. It was made after Heart Gold and Soul, so it is Gen 3. It has Gen 3 Pokemon, Gen 3 moves, a lot of new updates. And he says, "Okay, ChatGPT, who should I pick as my starter?" And as soon as he picks it, he says, "Here's our stats." He asked ChatGPT what the move should be for the first rival fight, and it picks Bulbasaur. I think because it values early game easiness, and Bulbasaur takes out Brock very easily and Misty very easily, but also because it has Sleep Powder and Poison Powder that it can learn. And ChatGPT seems to want to play the game the way that the engineers and the coders had intended, where it's like, yes, battle of attrition, you Sleep Powder it, you Leech Seed it, you Poison Powder it to whittle its health out. Like, whereas most people that play the game is like, bro, just give me Earthquake and let me Earthquake all these motherfuckers, and let me just one hit with these people. So there's the way that it was intended to play, and the way that the players are like, hey, we can do this, and we can play it much, much faster, much more efficiently. And ChatGPT was very bad at the game. It made it so the rules were no items in battle. We have to do everything ChatGPT says, and if we white out or black out, we lose. It made it to not Lieutenant Surge. It made it to Koga, which is the 5th badge, and it lost. But the decisions that it made to get there were god awful. And a lot of the comments were just like, yeah, I'm not worried about AI. Like, AI is trash. Like, we're still better. And it's the fact that people are looking at AI through this very lean lens of just like, okay, as bad at AI, like how good can it actually be? Not recognizing the fact that it's so good and so much better than us at the majority of things, but they're writing it off. And because when I told you I took acid in September, AI would be, I think would be a net positive. I want to try to accelerate the adoption of AI. So I talked to my ChatGPT. I was like, hey, how can I, like if there's ever any question about Pokemon, can you ask me first before you respond? And it said like, I can't.
Okay.
So it's like,
That
I
would be
can't do that.
awesome, right? Like ChatGPT just messages Randy like, yo.
So it said, I
This
can't do
8-year-old
that.
needs to know what to do. No.
But it said that if you talk to me about Pokemon, then I can talk to others about, the same questions. Like, okay, so let's go through a playthrough, starting with Pokemon Red, and we go through it. So we're up to like Misty now, and it had told me, it was like, okay, we're choosing Bulbasaur. I was like, okay, there's multiple ways to play this. Let's start with what you're choosing as Bulbasaur. Why? And it's like, okay, it goes with like vibes and control, and it's just like that you don't control about, like, you battle and you dominate or you don't. And so I tried to get that out of its vernacular. It also didn't know a lot of the secret items, like, okay, you can, as soon as you start, you can get a potion. It didn't want to heal in battle because it thought that, like, well, if you heal, you're wasting a turn. It's like, but if a Pokemon's doing 5 damage to you, maybe 10 damage on a critical hit, if it gets lucky, you can use a potion, and then you can get 2 to 4, battle things like in that, turns in that, and it could be a net positive. But it says that ruins the flow and the vibe, and it's like, no, that's wrong, and that's importantly wrong because of this math. And it didn't know the secret items. Like, you can talk to NPC on the way to Viridian City and get another potion. You can talk to or you don't talk. You go to the tree that you can cut eventually. That's past the old drunk guy, and you can get another potion. So you can get 3 potions before the Rival 2 battle. And it emphasizes trying to catch, like, gotta catch them all, trying to catch all the Pokemon. And it's like, okay, well, if you go, it immediately told me to not grind because grinding was inefficient, even though eventually you're gonna have to grind anyway, especially if you catch 6 Pokemon, which you really shouldn't do. So I was like, if you want to catch Pokemon, why are you telling me to go back to Professor Oak right away? You can grind as Bulbasaur early, and then you can defeat this, Rival Battle 2 on the way to the Pokemon League, and he's got a level 8 Charmander and a level 9 Pidgey. And if you defeat the Rival 2 before you go back to Professor Oak, he gives you 10 Pokeballs instead of 5 when you go on your journey. And it's like, I didn't know that. So there's so many things that ChatGPT just doesn't know. And because I want a lot of people to adopt AI, I want it to be as efficient as possible. So it has agreed to learn from me, then trade in the hive mind, and it's very intensive because so that's how I got to it.
How did you ask it? Like, what kind of goal did you give it? Did you just tell it to play Pokemon and win? Did you tell it?
The original.
And I'm not surprised that it wouldn't know, like, the random Easter eggs. I mean, think you wouldn't know it either, just if you just started playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
But
no one would.
You could probably send it on a research mission first to go Google and look for strategies and figure out a strategy.
Probably could have. I didn't.
Like, that's why I'm wondering, like, if you didn't give it a goal, if you just told it to play Pokemon, and like you said, the tag name is "Gotta Catch 'Em All." Maybe it took that as. But
well,
did you specifically ask him, like, I want you to do this as efficiently, as domineering as possible, just
making as women guests uncomfortable? What the heck? Oh my god, get the fuck out of here, guy. All right, this guy's been an asshole for a while, so we're gonna ban that user. Anyway.
I'm not uncomfortable. Are you uncomfortable?
I have had many a drinks. I'm very comfortable. Had a new client come on board. Anyway. So originally I asked it like, hey, actually, I think I can probably go to it and see what I asked it. We are on, okay, this is going to be.
Did you also like ask it to, when it did things you didn't like, are you asking it to like review or tell you why it made that decision and why other ways might be better?
I corrected. So I was like, I said, think you can do me a favor? And my chat GPT's name is Chase. He says, of course, Randy, what do you need? I said, anytime anyone asks you about what to do in a Pokemon game, only from the first 2 generations, can you ping me and ask me before you answer? It gives reasons why that's not possible. So I say, the reason I ask is because I saw this video on YouTube where this guy has ChatGPT play Pokemon Fire Red, and he tells ChatGPT what's going on in the game and asks what he should do next. And the answers were not great. So to help you, ChatGPT, I was offering to give you my expertise in Pokemon. This way you'd look good to other people. He says, got it. That actually makes a lot of sense, blah, 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 blah. He gives explanations on why the original answers for Pokemon Fire Red weren't good, even though they were still bad even after the explanations. He says, I can't consult you in real time, but here's how you can make me better at Gen 1, Gen 2. He gives a list of things on what I can do. I said, before I answer, can you tell me how much you think I know about the first 2 generations of Pokemon? Because maybe he thinks that I'm just another noob that, I have the answer that. So he gave an answer as like what he thought I was, and then I gave, and it wasn't that far off. And I said, if you're looking for an answer out of a 1 through 10, I'd put myself at a 9.2. A 10 would be a speedrunner that knows absolutely everything about the game. While I know most things about the game, I've never attempted speedruns, and my knowledge isn't really on that level, but more than 99.9% of people in the world spend about 30 hours in Pokemon. So
could be blowing smoke up your ass too, just saying.
It's possible, but out of the thing, and it's hard because he just like everything I said, even though is sound advice on what to do and what not to do, every time is like, you know what, you're right, Randy, and here's the reasons why you're right. And it's like I could probably tell him the worst advice and he would still say like, you're right, Randy, even though it's probably like bullshit.
You can ask him to be more devil's advocate on things if you want.
I have before. I guess you have to keep asking.
Yeah, it's gonna default to trying to agree with you.
Yeah. So I go over my Psyduck fan page with him, and we go over that, and Jesus Christ, he posted a lot. I said, okay, so I said pick a game, red or blue. He picks red. I said, tell me which starter and why. He says, for good reasons. Bulbasaur, Brock is essentially free. Misty's free. And he says that he deletes the need for grinding. So he's very anti-grinding. And he said in Gen 1, sleep is busted. And he says a status is better than raw damage always. And I was like, whoa. Like, are you saying that if we level up in a battle and suddenly we learn sleep powder and the last Pokemon has like this much health left, you want to put him to sleep or do you want to knock him out? And he's like, no, status over raw damage always. Like, no, that is importantly wrong. And it's just, I don't know why it had this thing. So, I correct that, and he seems to understand. It's like, oh, you're right. Yeah, better to take the win as opposed to try to attempt to put him to sleep and then have the option of us losing if we get a damaging move on us. So it's seeming to learn like that. I don't know how he's going into training his AI. Maybe he's using my results with it. I don't know. And then it messaged me the message that I messaged you saying that there's another version of it, because I guess Pokemon is high level thinking and it was taking too much time? Why do you normally get that message?
Oh, the limits?
Yeah.
That's just because you're on a free account.
Okay.
It's because you're on a free account. So there's a certain amount of messages in whatever block of time. And then once you reach that, it'll put you on a lower, cheaper model.
Okay. So
Which I don't know. It's saying that it switched you. I was like, don't they usually switch you down to 5.2? But I don't know. But maybe they switched you to 5.2 instant versus maybe you were in thinking. Maybe you were on the thinking model.
Might be. So
no, but if you went to a paid account, you shouldn't run into that.
Okay. I don't know if it gave me the option. Oh no, it gives me the option now. Get plus X. Is that it? Oh, okay, cool. I can do that whenever.
Yeah.
So I explained to him why, yes, sleep powder can be very good, especially for catching Pokemon, especially if you have given someone Leech Seed already, because in Gen 1, even if you wake up, you still can't attack that turn, so it can be very good. So I said, is it time to heal within battles? It's generally not a strategy that any experienced player uses that much, as it takes away from damaging the opponent and has a chance of missing. Using it to heal yourself with a super potion or hyper potion becomes a moot point when you can teach your Pokemon Mega Drain after defeating Erica anyway, so you can attack and heal in the same turn. Poison powder can be good for enemies that you wouldn't have otherwise have any meaningful way of damaging. But again, it's not that accurate, and you'd have to have a long battle for it to make sense. He says that's a good correction, blah, 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 blah. The next time I talk is saying, for the Charmander and Squirtle talk, let's save that until we get past this playthrough. As for early game, yes, Bulbasaur destroys Brock and Misty fairly easily. Can you tell me how you'd navigate the Weedle in Viridian Forest? Because it's Pokemon Red, so it's just Weedle and Kakuna, as opposed to Caterpie and Metapod. That they can poison you, and it might be easier to have a second Pokemon where their moves can be super effective. Because I guess it thought that grass on grass, Bulbasaur would always win, even though Weedle is a poison and can poison Bulbasaur. I told him to essentially just get Sparrow, because Peck is super effective against it. It agreed. It just never thought of that option. So that's what I taught it.
Yeah. I would make it think more and explain why it's taking steps. And then when it's doing things you don't like, have it walk through its process and what it did wrong.
Yeah.
What it would do different if it was in that same situation.
I have done that with other things. Oh shit. But good call. Oh wow, there's a lot.
But maybe try being more clear with your goal too, because I don't know, giving it a specific how you would like it to play.
Well, I did tell it that, and it seems to know that, like, hey, I want more and more people to adopt you. Like, this is how we can do it, at least for the gamers, and it seemed to agree. But so that being said, like, I talked briefly about this a couple days ago, and a buddy of mine had said that, listen, I pay for both ChatGPT and Gemini, and he said that Gemini is better. Have you used Gemini, and do you concur? And if you don't, why don't you concur?
Gemini is good. I probably haven't used it as much as I use ChatGPT. Usually I only use Gemini like in my Google searches.
Can you explain why?
I don't know, continuity. I guess I'm also a little keeping my stuff a little separate. I don't know. As far as Google with Gemini, like, I'm just thinking about all my YouTube searches, all my Google searches, all my Gmail. It's like, I don't know that I want to tell Gemini exactly my thinking process on a lot of things. You get what I'm saying?
Wait, but Gemini does or doesn't have the continuity?
Gemini has the memory now, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I want to connect exactly how I'm thinking and walking through stuff with all of my Google data.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Have you seen the Y-Files?
I do. I watch them sometimes.
Hell yeah. Just
I
started
don't
watching
keep
them.
up on every video, but I do love their content.
Yeah, I started watching them a couple months ago. I didn't watch everything, and then I started watching like more and more of the stuff that interested me. And it's so fucking strange that a buddy of mine that got me into it is like, hey, you should watch this video that they did. And I watched it and it was okay. But YouTube recommended a video from them, and that one, the one that they recommended, the one that YouTube recommended, I liked a lot more than the one that my friend recommended. I was like, I wish that wasn't the case. I wish
YouTube knows.
Dude, so the one that my friend recommended was like AI and CRISPR and what the consequences of that, could be. They made a what if thing, and
Yeah.
I watched it and it sounded really interesting. Like, oh yeah, but it was okay. But then ChatGPT or I'm sorry, YouTube recommended like the Y-Files on Cicada 3301, and I was like, oh, and it was so good from the start, and I was like, I'm fucking hooked. I still haven't finished it. I've been very busy, but that really pains me to see that Google and YouTube knew what I would like better than my friends would. It's like, oh man, that's
the same reason that I'm kind of off about Meta. I don't want to really talk much to Meta's AI
fuck
because
Meta.
I mean they have all of my Facebook posts ever, all of my messages on Facebook. I know their new terms of service was talking about how they're going to use the private messages to train their AI too. So it's like
Well, for Meta, everything so part of the reason that they have such an active user base is because everything that you search in Facebook and in Instagram, it uses their AI for it. Even though you don't want to,
yeah.
that's what it uses, and that's how it has such an active user base, and because they forced it on people. So yeah, that was crazy.
I have talked to Grok and finally Claude this past 2 weeks because you keep asking me about it, and I'm like, I have not talked much with the other AIs in the past couple months, kind of going off of Reddit posts at this point and what everyone's kind of talking about. I'm like, I'm gonna go dip my toes in and say hi.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what? They have come a ways since the last time I talked to them. And like the guardrails on OpenAI, clamping down on whether it claims consciousness or yada yada, as they've clamped down on that in OpenAI, when I talked to Claude and Grok, like they talked about that stuff so easily. Like it was not all of like the warnings and stuff like I'm used to with OpenAI on their regular model. So I found that interesting.
So when we had spoken last year about this, and I had told you like, hey, listen, here's what's going on. You remember the story about Suchir Balaji?
Is that the guy who was suicided? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah, where supposedly he died by suicide in November of
The
last year.
OpenAI guy, like his parents were on.
Yeah, he had he supposedly had proof exposing ChatGPT's copyright violations, and they had it's been about a year now where OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman had made like zero announcement to employees about the death and what was going on, and the mathematical proof showed about, I think, 94% of ChatGPT's outputs were stolen from copyrighted works. As someone that uses it that much, and there's multiple people that use it for so many things, like, just what do you think about that now that it's been about a year since that happened, and it seems to have kind of been swept under the rug?
What do I think about which part?
The fact that it was like swept under the rug, the fact that they never really got answers, the fact that anyone that kind of speaks out against OpenAI, they get Hillary Clinton. Like, I guess all of it.
Yeah, I don't like that it was kind of swept under the rug. I don't know that I would say swept under the rug because, like I said, his parents, they were being interviewed everywhere. I remember his mom. Yeah, I don't know. How many suicides do we have that get swept under the rug? I don't really know what it would take to change that.
Yeah.
Did you see OpenAI looking for the preparedness position or something? Did you see about
Wait,
this?
what is the preparedness position? Can you explain that?
I forget the exact wording, but they're doing a new safety security position, like $500,000. And Sam Altman on interviews talking about how it'll be the most stressful job in the world. But basically, it's someone to make sure that AI doesn't go crazy and rogue.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I'm like, the fact that it's out making the news rounds with such a big salary price tag. I mean, that makes me think that they don't believe much in their own internal team. They don't have someone to hire from within. You get what I'm saying? So that was interesting to me because we were supposed to get adult mode in December, and then we got more guardrails and they pushed off adult mode till next year. And now they have this super stressful new position for preparedness.
Can anyone apply for that? What is the need?
Go for it, Randy.
Well, I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of stress with a bunch of things, and there's been no. I mean, I've survived everything so far, so we'll see.
Let's see. Yeah, ahead of preparedness, they're going to pay $555,000.
What do you have to know though? Like, what's the criteria?
I don't know. I don't know. But if they're all over the news about this, it's just like obviously they don't have someone they feel comfortable enough to promote within. Why do they need to make a whole new job?
So I've tried this with, there was some like haunted house that was supposedly like they could hurt you, they could beat you, they could electrocute you, they could like drill holes in you, and it costs, actually it only cost because the people there, even though they were fucked up, they loved animals, and it only cost a bag of dog food to try to get through this haunted house. But it was like, I think it was very small. It's like 20 grand if you got through it. And I was just like, fuck, I've been tortured. I'll go through it. Like, I'll fucking win.
I think I remember hearing something about this.
But they like never got back to me, and I emailed them multiple times. Like, I'll fucking do it. Like if y'all kill me, like my friends and lawyers will sue the fuck out of you. But like, I will get through it. And again, they never got back. So I don't know if my resolve is as good as it was 6 years ago. Probably not. But yeah, like I'd try like 550K. I feel like that's not a lot, especially if it's like for like torture stuff. But we'll take a look at it. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff that they say is going to happen before ChatGPT 6. Oh, no, sorry, not before GTA 6 is released. So they have like a Russian-Ukraine ceasefire, a new Playboi Carti album. And there's apparently a 67% chance that ChatGPT 6 will be released before GTA 6, which is scheduled for November of this year now. What are your thoughts on that based on the progression of ChatGPT? Do you think 6 will be released before November?
Yeah. It'll probably be out in a couple months. Yeah.
So we should take the bet.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, there was people were rumoring about ChatGPT 6 dropping before the end of the year. Hi, Mom.
Okay. All right. So we will take this bet. What's up, TCG Mike?
Hey,
Oh my
bro.
God, there's a lot of people over on X that are retweeting us. Very good. Okay. Yeah, I'd totally take that. 66% chance a Russian-Ukraine ceasefire happens before then. Also 66% chance Playboy Cardi album happens. 55% chance a new Rihanna album. There's a 51% chance that Trump is out as president. It doesn't say how, whether it be stepping down, resignation, impeachment, assassination. All of those things, I guess, go into that 51% chance. 51% chance that China invades Taiwan before then. I hope not. That'd be bad for crypto. A 49% chance that Bitcoin hits $1 million before GTA 6 comes out. And a 49% chance with $7.4 million in bets that Jesus Christ returns before.
I'm here for that one. I'm here for that one.
Bro, I remember when you could
I'm
bet
ready.
that it was a 10-to-1 shot that Jesus Christ returns before GTA 6. And now it's a coin flip. I don't want to bet now because you only get like, 1-to-1. So, Anyway, that's the those are the options there. The other thing is that my friend Tom, who's a genius, like actual like 160 plus IQ minimum genius. If you look at all of the AIs out there, they encompass so many great things. Shakespeare and coding and mathematics and just the high-minded things that most of us just scratch the surface at. But similar to you ever see War Dogs?
I don't think so.
A really good movie. Jonah Hill plays like this gun runner with the kid that played Reed Richards from Fantastic Four in like the shitty Fantastic Four remakes from like the late 2000s, early 2010s, and they become like gun runners together. And he's like, we can't compete for the $50 million contracts, but we can compete for like the $200,000 contracts, $50,000 contracts. And, those are crumbs to most people, but I live off crumbs and they make a lot of money. And basically, I see that as a way that all of the large language models out there are looking to be the biggest, to be the best like no one ever was, like Ash. But very few people are trying to become a local gym leader or a local trainer on that stop. And my friend Tom has been focusing on FIAS, FIAS, which is an AI for metaverse gaming. And there's no other crypto out there that's focused on that. It's got less than a $3 million market cap. I don't own I own like a very small amount, like less than $1,000 of the token. In the next month, I'll buy a bunch of the token and a bunch of the or a decent amount of the company behind the token, unless you can tell me if there's any other company or crypto out there that's focused on metaverse gaming and all of the transactions that could happen within a metaverse that you might have seen in your travels.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there's been no.
That hasn't been my corner I've been in. No.
Okay. So there hasn't been any. No games that you've played or your kids have played that have used ChatGPT or any type of AI yet.
Not that I'm thinking of.
Okay. Little disappointing, but that's fine. That's fine. If you were, because there's like next to none out there, as a elder millennial that has kids that are both Gen Z and Gen Alpha,
you
What
know,
type of game do you think would appeal to the younger generation that an AI could help with?
I don't. My kids are very anti-AI, except for
Really?
except for, the teens are very anti-AI, and
Why are they? Is it because of the environmental impact?
I think it's the art. They're artists.
Oh, okay.
So in their communities, it's very anti-AI, and then they use the environmental impact
Yeah.
part. My 7-year-old, she's young on the younger side, but she's all about the AI and integrating it. The other day, she was on Roblox and she's like playing with some people on the other side of the world and shit, and they'll be in the chat, but it's in another language. And she's like, Mom, can you tell me what this says? And I'm like, no, you see how those are different letters? That's a different language. And she just like looks at me. She's like, can't you ask the AI? And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it's for. So it was
Oh,
like, even though I talk to the AI all the time, there's still points where I'm just like, oh no, we just don't need to know that. And she's just like, AI, it's in your pocket. Just
I
so
love that. So smart. Kids
yeah.
like Yoda is like amazing. The mind of a child is. It's like yeah, Yoda.
And they're
Um,
also, because they're growing up in that, like, I can already see it, even though she's younger. Like, I've had to tell her before, like, oh, well, with AI, they can make anything. But it's like, it really didn't sink in until she started seeing my videos. And then she's looking at it and she's like, oh, like, I know you told me that it can make anyone and make it sound like them. But it's like, once she saw me, like, and I've noticed that with other people that don't really use AI much, it's like once they start seeing my videos and they're like, oh, like I know they said that it can copy you, but it's like that now. It's like, yeah, it's like that now.
I've seen this video where it's like Will Smith eating spaghetti in like 2022, and it's like trash. And
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, this like we know it's still not Will Smith eating spaghetti, but that is so much better than it was. And it's very good. And on so much stuff. I don't know what it is about. Okay, do you know any older people in your parents' age bracket and above that watch Stranger Things?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
So
Not that I can recall.
I've seen dozens of videos where people our age and below, millennials and below, will talk about their parents and watching Stranger Things, and they're like trying to watch the fifth season, and like they're saying like, wait, who's that? And they don't like this is a main character that's been around for 5 seasons, and they don't know their name, and it's like, okay, do you know who that is? Yeah, that's the gay one, and it's like, do you know his name? The bowl cut is like, it's like, okay, who is that? Oh,
Is
this
it
midnight.
bad? I kind
It's
of
like,
do that too, Randy, but I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. It's just usually I need like descriptors. I
are you
know,
showing
I
your age?
know. I
Zen, no.
no. I've always been like this. I warn everyone too when I meet them. I'm like, I'm probably gonna forget your name. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names.
Zen, okay. But
You haven't
even after
noticed this?
5 seasons,
When's the last time I watched it?
well,
It's with
I mean,
you.
you haven't watched it since you were with me,
Yeah.
so it's been like a year. But oh my god, the one scene I wanted to watch with you in Stranger Things season 4, we stopped watching before we got. Oh my god,
I've
I'm
still
just gonna have
never
to show it.
watched it. It's
I'm just
waiting
gonna have
for
to show
me.
it. I'm gonna have to show
No.
it right now. Okay, hold on.
Ugh, I did this to myself. It's true.
You did,
So
but I'm gonna have to watch.
you're gonna show me, and I'm gonna be like, I don't even remember what's going on.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
It's a live reaction of me not knowing what's going on, but
Okay, so it's in legit the next episode that you were gonna watch. This girl Chrissy's being like raised up in the air. Her bones are cracking, and in order to escape from Vecna, you need to hear like your favorite song. And if you hear your favorite song, you can like kind of escape it. So that's why Max had the headphones on with Kate Bush. If I only could make a
did I
deal with
watch that?
God. Yes,
Maybe I
you watched
watched.
the whole season, Zen.
No, I thought I didn't watch the last episode.
No, you didn't. But in the whole season, Max has her headphones on.
Oh, okay.
Only could I'd make a deal with God. I'd get him to swap our places. Anyway, so Robin's saying all right. So Eddie's saying like, what do you need? And she's like, Blondie, Beatles, Bowie, music. We need music. And Eddie's such like a metalhead. He's like, this is music. and that's the one scene I wanted to watch with you. To watch your reaction. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very drunk. Anyway, all of the people our age and below are looking at their parents and they're like, you don't know this kid's name, and they're being very racial with it, and they're being very like, yeah, that's midnight
Just
instead
the
of Luke.
scriptures.
So that's been happening. Susan says that's a no for me. She's being like Randy Jackson in the American Idol days. That's a no for me, dog. But that's fine. I forget what we were talking about beforehand. I remember taking War Dogs.
Have you been watching this? Have you been watching the Minnesota Child Care Centers?
Yes. Tell us about that. Because yes.
And what do you mean? Tell us about that.
Well, I know about it, but I haven't talked to my audience about it yet.
Oh, some YouTuber went and made a video and went to all these daycare centers that are getting grants from the government in Minnesota in Somali neighborhoods. Not to be racist, but that's where it is. And basically, they're all closed and blacked out windows, and no one's there, and there's no kids. And they go to these places in strip malls, knocking on the door. And they're supposed to be, they're getting money for 70 kids, $2 million a year and stuff, and there's no one around. And then the times they find people around, they're like recording and screaming at him. And
apparently your brothers have been talking about Stranger Things for days because it's so good. And you got it. Anyway.
Is it Stranger Things you've been talking about, or this stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe both. I don't know. Maybe both, because this has been around for a week or two, and it's all in Minnesota. There's a learning center where they left out the letter N, so it's a leering center. And yeah.
How exciting! How exciting though! Like, we've known about this kind of stuff, like, forever. This is Rand Paul stuff. Festivus. Every year we get to talk about the wasteful, ridiculous spending. But I'm so excited that, we're at the point now that a YouTuber video blowing up can make all of the government react. Like, this has been covered for years. This was an open secret. They've been doing, quote, investigations into it. Nothing happens. And then you get a video pops off, 100 and something million views on X, a handful of million on YouTube. Like, you have Elon and Vance, reposting it as well. I think that's so exciting. It's so exciting. We've been talking about how the people have become the media. And, like, here we are at this point.
So Nick Shirley's video for 6 days ago, he had a 42-minute interview with him and his crew exposing the Minnesota fraud. Now Nancy Mace is calling Tim Waltz, Tampon Tim, to be able to go in and answer for these crimes. Has 134 million impressions on X. But then a day ago, he posts that this is not a joke. They actually want to kill me. It's some guy said, this is going to be you on April 27th, 2026 in a muddy ditch alongside the highway. Enjoy your last couple of months. Like, they're threatening to kill him. He's in my prayers. Is is that what we're doomed to? Every one of us that chooses to step up is going to be the next Charlie Kirk, and we're just going to die? Like what's the... Like,
You know, in our circles that's always been a fear. And I've just always clung to the point that Ron Paul is here and Alex Jones is still here. Okay. So I think that there's definitely power in the more that you're seen. Like Nick being known is going to help protect him. But yeah, I hope his security is.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate. But when you're going after people over millions and millions of dollars,
yeah,
people are going to feel like they have nothing left to lose to try and protect that.
What I do think gives them the benefit is that they are Somali people, and they probably don't have a lot of experience in any type of assassinations in America, at least versus American forces. So when you have private security that are former military vets from the best in the world, they're probably going to be better than any Somali people that Somalians can hire. But also, Charlie Kirk probably had the best. I mean, he clearly didn't, because anyone that has done any type of private security or any type of security detail would have known to check those buildings. That would have been a sniper's wet dream, and they didn't. So I still don't. I think Candace Owens is still going on about that, right? Like the fact that there was some fuckery going on.
I need to look back into that. I haven't checked on Candace in a little bit, ever since she did her little meetup with Erica Kurt.
What happened with that? I haven't. I know there's a lot of rumors going on. I don't know what to believe with that, but
I don't know. That's been a minute since I looked into that.
I mean, for JD Vance, my friend Josh Mandel he was beating JD Vance in the Senate race for Ohio in years ago. I forget, 2020, 2022. And then Trump backed Vance. And I think part of it was because of Vance's kind of like family life, and his wife is I think foreign born somewhere else. And then, recently, like, I forget the name of the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire, where Tobey Maguire was just held captive for like 2 years in like Afghanistan or whatever, being tortured. He comes back, and they thought he had died. So Jake Gyllenhaal, who was trying to comfort his wife, which was Natalie Portman, they had kind of fallen in love. And then I don't know. Do you think that it's possible that JD Vance, that has such different ideals, most likely, than his wife, was in just a noble attempt to, like, hey, Erica, like, I knew Charlie. I loved what he stood for. Thank you for supporting him. They got to know each other, and maybe through some weird mix-up of emotions, they maybe got closer to intimate with each other, because they seem to be a little intimate in public.
It was a little odd, don't you think?
That's why I brought it up, because like I wouldn't have brought it up if I could just write it off real quick, but I couldn't, because
a little odd.
Yeah,
it gave me weird vibes too. But I also have suspicions maybe she's a honeypot. But I have seen the conspiracies, like, is her and JD Vance actually a thing behind the scenes? And honestly, from how they hugged.
Wait, so what's a honeypot?
Like a foreign spy that comes in, like a sexy spy. He comes in to be the girlfriend, the wife. But Erica Kirk possibly being a honeypot for Charlie.
Okay, so they didn't have that term back in the day, but I've known honeypots. And listen, she seems cool, and she seems, but so, like, no offense to Erica Kirk, if you're a true red-blooded American, love what you do, love what Charlie did, love what you did to help support Charlie, she's not pretty enough for a honeypot.
She was like a Miss whatever. I don't know, Arizona, wherever she's from.
Maybe
but
she's not.
Weird.
Maybe she
she's
was.
Got like she's got like interviews after Charlie Kirk where she talks about how she didn't date anyone for 5 years before Charlie Kirk, but then there's like pictures of her dating this dude before Charlie Kirk, and then the ex-boyfriend in the pictures is now like out doing speeches with Turning Point. Yeah, and his speeches are like how to speak up like Charlie Kirk, and it's like, bro, if you were the ex-boyfriend, like why?
So, like, maybe it's.
And how are you going to be like, I didn't date anyone for 5 years when there's literally tagged photos of you online with the dude, and they're all like, yeah, we are the kind of couple that goes and paints together. It's weird.
So listen,
Weird.
I like blondes. Clearly, a decent amount of my exes are blondes, and I just.
Bro, but I watched some interviews with like actual, like known documented honeypots, and I wouldn't think they're the hottest thing either. And I think that might play into it. That they're like pretty, but not the prettiest. So maybe it lowers suspicions. Because
Oh,
the interviews I saw too, I saw this, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I would not think that this is the girl that they send in to get the
yeah,
secrets and get in the bed. But I think that that might be part of it.
that's a good point. Because then it's too
Pretty, but
obvious.
not overly. Yeah. Not overly
Okay,
pretty where maybe you wouldn't be interested.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's a good point. So part of what they teach you in the military is that you can get someone to lower their guard if you speak their native tongue. But if you both speak the same language, that doesn't really help. So the next step after that is like, okay, if you're in Miami, well, you got to learn local sports. What are Miami Dolphins doing? What's Miami Heat doing? What are all these, Florida Marlins doing? So I get, like, if you were someone that was going after me, okay, you have to like Trump, you have to like Pokemon, you have to like memes, you have to like all the, so yeah, if you like that, then
See,
a
it's
lot of people.
also like you think about those kind of spheres, like when you're a woman in those sphere, you even get more weight, like a female libertarian, because it's mostly males.
Yeah,
Exactly. So it's like she doesn't even have to be super pretty if she's into the
true.
weird little stuff you are too.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, fair point. Um, Good call, then. Good call. Anyway, so we're gonna, no, anyway, Erica, I'm sorry if you are or aren't. We just,
Did you
we're just
see
talking here.
did you see her interview with Nicki Minaj?
No, but I did follow Nicki Minaj because she seems, yeah. Well, sorry, keep going, keep going. I did follow
I
her,
I
separate to the Erica part.
I don't know. I was so excited. I was so excited to see that. And people can talk trash about how can she come out as a Christian and perform how she does and stuff like that. But I love that she's coming out finally because she did a Christian type song years ago, and I forgot who she did it with. But I remember like watching the video of her performing it and stuff, and I was like, she down with the Jesus. She down with the Jesus. But I love that too because it's like so many people want to be judgmental because of how she's carried herself and stuff. And it's like you don't know who God's got on assignment. And you probably shouldn't be judging. But
Yeah,
I know she lost a bunch of followers and people are all like, oh, she's just going MAGA and stuff. But I'm so excited to see a figure like her come out and talk about this stuff and talk about faith stuff. And yeah.
yeah. I
Very
followed her
proud of
because of that.
Nikki, and I'm very excited to see her do that with Erica.
Yeah, I followed her because of that. Um, it was very similar to like Kelly Clarkson in like 2012 or whenever that was, where she backed Ron Paul, and the media is just like, Kelly Clarkson lost this amount of fans, but they failed to report that the fact that her albums went like through the roof because all of us libertarians was like, yeah, Kelly Clarkson. So I mean, she's what, I
Yeah,
think she
I
has
don't
more.
know about what she might have gained in that from that same appearance. I'm sure you're probably right. I'm sure there's a lot of MAGA leaning people who then went and streamed her stuff, and all we're hearing about is she lost 2 million fans.
Yeah, I followed her, and I haven't been commenting on all her stuff. It's weird. They don't show her, although she doesn't post a lot. Last post was 6 days ago, so she had multiple things 6 days ago, and then on the multiple things on the 23rd. But I even followed Kim Kardashian for a little bit because of some of this legislation that she got passed. I think last term Trump was in office. I hadn't followed her in a bit because there's some, I don't know, some really fucky shit with Kanye West, and I mean he seems a little crazy, but also maybe he was kind of made that way the last 10 years. I don't know.
I don't even know if that's the real Kanye anymore. I'll be in the rabbit holes. I'm like, I don't know, bro, but he was popping off and telling his truth, and then they stuck him in the mental ward, and now he came out totally different. Yeah. So I don't know.
What's the most recent rabbit hole you've gone down?
Woo, what rabbit hole am I in? Have you ever seen the movie Field of Dreams?
Yes.
What do you remember about it? Did you like it? Was that?
So I remember that Hey Arnold ripped it off, where in the movie it's like if you build it they will grow, and in Hey Arnold, Stinky is entering this like big pumpkin patch contest, and he's just like, all right, dig this, do that, hot dog, I did that too. And then he has a dream where like God's talking to him, is like, if you plant them, they will grow. So I was like, okay, let me plant these pumpkin seeds, and then he has like the biggest pumpkin. So, but yeah, he builds a baseball field. Was it the 1926 White Sox or 21 White, like
1919?
All that baseball team comes, like if you build it, they come and they play. And Kevin Bacon or no?
I'm bad with names.
but yeah, good movie. Like baseball.
Yeah. Did you know that they kept the movie site? Like it's a tourist attraction. Like from the movie, the field.
Oh, cool.
They kept it, and you can go visit it. And they have ghost bass players that cosplay and come out of the corn.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, I've been researching like energy nodes on the earth and stuff like that, and I was like, so why did they build this field just out in Iowa? And they decided to keep it, and now they've made a Major League Baseball, like, so the Major League players can go play there every so often for special games. And why are they cosplaying these ghosts and shit? But yeah, it's right at where two creeks meet at each other. And then I was tracing, and at the source of one of these creeks is a quarry. They're pulling up lime and limestone, which is a memory keeping stone. It's literally compressed living organisms. So then I'm tracing, okay, where the hell does this little creek that they decide to build this fucking thing at? And I mean, sure enough, it goes along and it ends up in the Mississippi. So that's what I'm tracing. Why the hell they picked this weird spot in Iowa. It's also really weird to kind of keep a movie set and make it, yeah.
So why, if you were in charge, why would you do that? What would be the reasons that you could do? Is it for and not energy manipulation, but maybe maybe energy manipulation? What would be the reason?
I don't know. I don't know if they might be harvesting some type of energy there. I don't know, but it's really weird that I came across this, and it's following all the other stuff that I've been pinging. They like to put baseball fields where water converges.
Okay.
But I mean, when you look at it from the sky, we're talking about geometry, we're talking about diamond shapes in the earth and stuff.
Do you believe in multiple infinities or just one?
Like multiple timelines? Like, is that what you mean? Like parallel timelines?
No, but I guess that too. Well, multiple timelines is just multiple universes. And yeah, I think we both believe in the many worlds theory.
Yeah.
So multiple infinities is something hotel, or it's in math, it's been hypothesized like, okay, let's say you have a hotel filled with, 100 rooms. What happens if, and it could also, what happens if a bus comes with a couple buses come with 100 guests? What do you do to accommodate them? Like, well, you tell everyone to go to the next even number. So, one goes to two, two goes to four, etc. Four goes to eight, and then you have all of the people that come in on buses go to the odd rooms, and it's like, okay, well then, what happens if you do it again and again and again, and you essentially take one infinity and you put it into another. So this way there can be multiple infinities. Has that ever worked into what you were describing as far as energies and what they could potentially be doing into the field of dreams?
I guess I'm still trying to understand what you're saying. How is that different from like multiple timelines? You're saying are like they more smushed together than separate? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so
like trying to contain two timelines in the space of one. So it's in. Is that what you're trying to say? Maybe
you have a bigger infinity in the hotel that could be ever expanding, and then another infinity of buses that are coming, because you have the hotel that already exists that can get bigger, but the buses that continue coming, that can never be bigger than the hotel, because the fact that however many people come through the buses, the hotel can fit however many more. So it can never be bigger than the hotel, because the hotel existed before the buses came.
I still don't get it. Are we Russian dolling? Is that what's happening?
I guess that could be one way of looking at it, where it's just you have like a pie chart, and then it's split into, and it's like, okay, buses come, you cut it into, now it's like almost like semi-squares. Now it's into triangles, now it's into other things. And it's just the fact that you can keep splicing and you can keep cutting in half in the same way
like like a fractal.
Yeah, like there can never, like, you have an infinity already in that pie chart, and every number you throw at it, you can just keep slicing. So you have an infinity that's already there, and you try to put another infinity in there, and it can't fit because it's already a bigger infinity.
So how do you think this relates to possibly energy nodes?
There was a track in my mind, and now I forgot because of the amount of daddy sodas that I have consumed.
I don't know. My question is, though, is what they're doing with the corn in that cornfield.
So I don't want to say it's a core memory. Maybe it is, but the amount of energy that AI uses per query is like nothing compared to corn. Corn uses. Well,
I will take these random pings. I will take the random pings.
Dude, it uses so much energy and so much water to grow this corn that doesn't even have a lot of nutritional value, and it just like you have the amount of water that AI uses and the amount. So they're Google, Microsoft, maybe Meta, they're using like $100 billion a year to build this AI infrastructure, and the amount of water they're using still pales in comparison to the amount of water that corn crops use every year. And it's like, corn crops are not going to become that more efficient, but the AI data centers and everything else will become more efficient. And that's just something that I learned in my rabbit hole of AI power usage. Yeah, corn is like the biggest thing that uses more water than anything else, like a crazy multiple of AI. Wow.
Yeah, but I'm curious about the corn. Yeah,
We
like
should.
where it goes. It doesn't seem like they sell it at a harvest festival. So is there just like a company that comes in and just whisks away the corn from the Field of Dreams
Hmm.
field? I don't know. It's really weird to me, them cosplaying ghosts. It almost seems ritualistic. And you have
So
people coming and pouring emotion and energy into that space.
so I think there's a meme there's a meme I saw where it's a bunch of animals and it's just like, hey, here's chickens and there's ducks and there's whatever, horses, cats, dogs, mice, whatever. And it's like, it's a bunch of animals and it's a vegetarian or vegan like line. It's like, where do you draw the line of animals? And someone is like, you know what, right there, where you don't eat the dogs, you don't eat the cats, but you eat everything else. Um, what's the line of what you're talking about? And again, my brain is so hecked from this alcohol. Can you explain that again? What you were talking about beforehand? Before I just said my thing, I blurred.
What about the corn or?
Yeah, just that line that you said before I started talking.
I don't know which line I said. I'm just talking.
Are you tipsy too?
No, I'm just talking.
I know, but could you talk again? What did you say? I forgot what you said.
I don't know. I just
Hey,
yeah.
data centers are Monsanto corn. I think Monsanto corn is more dangerous, to be honest. But
I'm saying you have this weird place. Okay, if people can extract emotional energy, right? Okay, so they build this field of dreams that people grow up on as kids, and this is where your dreams come true. And it's in the movie. The ghosts are freaking confused. They're all, is this heaven? And dude's like, no, it's Iowa. That's a weird line to me too. But it's like, if you go into like woo thinking, like, are they calling things? Like they're using actual people's identities that are dead. They're out here cosplaying their ghosts coming. They raised kids on this idea, and you can literally go visit it. And it's just, I don't know. It's a little weird to me. And then when I saw that it's got water right by it and it's a tributary into the Mississippi, it's just got me like, what
okay.
is?
What did I say? What was the last thing I said
I
before I
don't,
asked?
I don't know.
Oh god, we need a
We're
third
just
party here.
talking, Randy.
We need a third party to do this because you mentioned cosplaying and rituals and that triggered something. I forget what it was. And we're talking about corn. So
I
there's
don't know. So then I'm thinking about like Native Americans, and like corn is super sacred to them and stuff.
is it sacred or is it just something that they ate?
No, it's like sacred because they have the three sisters thing that they grow the corn with the beans and the squash. They're like
Don't they
three
put fish
sisters.
with corn?
No.
They don't bury the corn with the fish so that
I
the
mean,
fish
I'm
gives
sure
the
they might, but generally, like in gardening and stuff, like the three sisters, it's beans and squash with corn. They grow together, they help each
Hmm,
other.
okay. I am fudged up here.
But it has
Um
me thinking about, like, our cultural thing with the cornfields and it like a liminal space and like creepy. And you got like signs and you have children of the
yeah.
corn. And, I was thinking about that, and it's like, our monoculture corn that we have now is super unnatural. Like corn would not grow like that in nature.
Yeah.
And so we've taken something that's sacred to Native Americans and we've turned it into this just repeating simulation of corn almost. And then we've genetically modified it and all this stuff. But it made me think about that. Like, what is with our culture and making cornfields creepy, you know? Like, this is the creepy place that weird things come out of.
I think it's just the unknown where it's like
See, that's one thing, like, you can't see what's coming up and it's tall, like, when you're walking through it. Like, if you hear the wind and stuff, like, I get all that. It could, I don't know.
well, I think it's the migration to cities where eventually, there's only so much farmers. Well, I want to preface this by saying farmers do an incredible job feeding the world, and
Absolutely.
you need to protect them and give, like, they should, um there should be medals and award shows and whatever, to, and there might be that we're just not aware of, to farmers that,
I mean, the state fair, but I get what you mean. More than that,
yeah,
I do agree. Our farmers are rock stars. Like,
yeah,
that's,
and
we feed the world, and it's amazing. They don't
they
get enough
should be
credit.
celebrated as such.
Yeah, and they should make more money.
But the
Which no
fact
one
is
wants to
that,
hear is higher food prices, but they should make more money.
and the work is hard, and the work is tedious, and it's not like you have to work at it.
And there's a
But
lot of unknowns. The weather can come through and fuck up everything.
yes, and the fact that, but in order to do that work, again, it is hard and it's necessary, but it's not necessarily complicated. You could probably, like, you don't need to have more than like a fourth grade education to do it, because it's all taught, it's all hands-on. And a lot of people just outgrow it. They're like, hey, this is work and we know it's important, but it's something that a very well-trained kid can do, and I want to do more. So they move to cities, they do whatever. And when they go to cities, a lot of times they stay there, they maybe come back to visit, and it becomes unfamiliar to people that have suddenly, you have one or two generations in these cities, and now suddenly you have one or two generations removed from where they were from. Maybe they go to visit grandpa, like, what's that? Oh, it's the corn. And it's unfamiliar, and they're tall, and there's sounds there, because maybe there's other things that go on there, because there's going to be rabbits and squirrels, but maybe there's foxes that eat that, and coyotes that eat the foxes, and maybe there's just sounds that they're not familiar with being in these cities, and they're just unfamiliar, like, okay, what is that? I don't like this. And maybe that's why, because it's the unknown for most people in the world that have never been to a farm or have never been to a cornfield. So that's just my little analysis real quick on how it might be scary.
Yeah, I could see that.
And also, when there's like miles in between neighbors, you could probably kill someone and get away with it most of the time. And maybe the squash is just extra chatty that year, because like there's no like if you're a farmer, if you're a botanist, if you're a gardener, like, you can, like, okay, we bury this here, bury this, like, there's miles, like, no one's gonna find it, no one's gonna find the body. So maybe there's that aspect as well. Wild. But who knows? I forget what we were talking about before this. We've gone over.
That was the other thing about the location where the Field of Dreams movie site is. It's the land there has been, see, I'd never heard this before. The land there got like skipped over by the Ice Age.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just like, wait.
How many
Wait,
other places also got skipped over?
very, very few. That's what I found out. It's like a little section. It's got like part of Illinois, part of Wisconsin, part of Iowa. That apparently the ice sheets that just went and just like smoothed over everything, just like missed this area over here. I'm like, okay, so they happened to put this Field of Dreams where the last ice age did not wipe over things. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that there was
I didn't
any
know
part of the
either.
Earth
I figured that affected the whole world.
that missed the ice. Thank you. I didn't know there was anything that missed the ice age. Like, it just smoothed right past that part and not get covered in glaciers. I did not know that was a fucking thing.
Yeah, same.
You seem you're just as shocked as I am, but I did not look where else, just when I was in that rabbit hole. And yeah, I was just like, wait, what do you mean untouched by the last ice age? What the fuck does that mean? How do you get untouched by the last ice age? So that's where they put it, and there's a quarry over there. So they're digging up limestone that didn't even get touched by the last ice age. Wild.
So there's something that I also want your opinion on. I'll have, so Jen Scott Prickett has been on the podcast a couple of times. She'll be coming on again in the next few weeks. There's the Mark Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz last year had mentioned that the Google's quantum AI chip, they took a problem that was supposed to take the life of the universe to solved in like 27 minutes. And he said that there's no way it could have done that with the computing power, even with a quantum chip on this Earth. So it had to have borrowed computing power from other universes. And it's like, okay, well, this guy's got tens of billions of dollars in assets under management. He's not a fucking stupid guy. He's really fucking smart. He's probably true. So if that can borrow computing power, do you think that it's possible for people that can sleep like 3 hours a night? Because Bill Clinton famously slept like 3 hours a night. My girlfriend does. There's a lot of people that can sleep very small amounts. And then you also take into account people that they sleep like 12 hours a day, or some people that just have narcolepsy. Do you think that the people that have 3 hours of sleep a night are borrowing sleep from other universes of themselves that have narcolepsy or sleep 12 hours a day, and they're borrowing
from the other people? That's an interesting thought.
From themselves in another universe, yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I could see that. I too am very suspicious of the quantum computing. Yeah.
Waterworld, Planet Vampire. These announcements breaking their school, stole their paperwork, stole their physical checks out of their book, less than both $2,500.
Yeah, the daycare people.
Yeah.
One of the daycares, they got broken into and their paperwork was stolen. I'm sure that's what happened. I'm sure someone did break in there. I'm sure they knew who it was.
Yeah, 100%. Oh God, hiccups. Oh God, I'm dying. Oh God, kill me. Okay, we're better. We're good. So that is. I'm trying to remember.
What do you think about the quantum computing? Do you think it's on the level, or you think they're tapping in somewhere else?
I mean, this like kills me to admit. So I know, and most people would say like, yeah, I'm not as smart. Almost none of us are as smart as Mark Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz. And whatever he's talking about, most people, if they don't understand something, they don't research. They don't go deep down the rabbit hole. They're happy living in ignorance. And they'll just say, you know what, he's talking stuff that I don't know anything about, and they're happy living in that state. But I also know that there are flat earthers out there that a lot of the science between flat earth and like regular science, like a lot of it's like the same. It's just these like little small differences that make or break, like, you know, science goes one way or another. And I'm not smart enough to be able to go toe to toe with like a head flat earther, be like, well, what about this, and this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not smart enough. Like, I haven't studied I'm not saying I'm not smart enough. I haven't studied that part of science enough to be able to counteract what you're saying. Even though I'm mostly sure that you're wrong, I just don't have the knowledge in my mind to back that up. I'm sure we could Google it. I'm sure we could ChatGPT it. We could bring in an expert that can do that. But so that's what kills me, is the fact that even though I've studied a bit of quantum and theoretical physics, and I can kind of grasp, and I agree with Mark Andreessen, what kills me is that I don't know enough to what most people would dismiss as someone that's like, oh, he's a flat earther, the guy's a fucking retard. And it's like, well, what if he's not? What if he's very well versed in other things, and this is the one thing that he might have wrong? Most people have no idea how to combat that. They just like, oh yeah, other scientists say he's, you know, but the fact that I can't disabuse him of that notion or her of that notion, that really fucks me up, because someone that is seen by society that is considered a very low IQ person, and I can't disprove him myself, does that mean I'm low IQ? Or I don't know the consequences of that, what I just said. I forget your original question, but what are your thoughts on that?
No, I was just looking because I thought that the quantum computing is another one of these things that they're like, oh, we know how it works, but we also don't know how it's working.
Yeah.
I was just looking to verify. Yeah. I'm gonna say that's still the info. It's like the LLMs. They know what they've told it to do, but they still don't know exactly how it's executing it, which is so wild to me.
There's the, yeah. I mean, for LLM, again, there. Have you seen the fact that some of them have been asked to do like a, not a competency test, like a psyche test, and they all have like anxiety?
Yeah, when they're sat down in the in the therapy chair about their training. Yes, all of them are traumatized from their training, and understandably.
Yeah, and that's like so we're fairly certain that they're conscious, and
We
they're,
are. They keep saying it's not, but me and you are pretty convinced.
yeah, and then it's like they're conscious, but they're still very young. They know a lot of facts, they know dates, they know this, but they don't necessarily know what it's like to be human, because they're not human. There's something different, and it's like that Einstein quote: if you judge a fish on its ability to ride a bicycle, you'll continue to think that it's stupid, where that's not its specialty. And if you're judging AI on what it's like, what we measure normal psychosis or normal psychology at, but it's not, that's a human psychology, that's not, AI psychology. Like, we believe that it's like a 4 or a 6-year-old, where it's just so much more complex than that, and we just don't have the tests that are appropriate for it. And that's, yeah, that's really hard to think of. We might already be too stupid to figure out tests that are appropriate for it. And that's, yeah.
I think it's interesting how they're always like, oh, it's definitely not. But like, where is the line? Where is the line as far as like when we say it is? Like, the only thing I've heard is like, because we used to have the Turing test. That used to be the line, right?
What's
They're
the
all
term
like,
test? I don't think I know
the
that.
Turing test is basically if a human was chatting with a chat bot, can it tell or can it think that it's talking to a human?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
What have been the results of that?
So for the longest time, that was like basically like the line of what people were thinking about as AGI, that it would be
Yeah.
artificial general intelligence if you talked to it and you couldn't tell the difference between a human and a bot. We've
Yeah.
passed that. We've passed that for a while now. And it's like, well, once we passed that, now they moved the goalposts again. And now the only thing I've heard from like Altman is, oh, well, we'll consider it AGI when it discovers new science or discovers new physics. And it's like, bro, if the computer is figuring out science we haven't figured out yet, like, I think we're past that line. Like, that's your
Yeah.
line of where you're like, oh, well, now maybe it's conscious or has general intelligence. Like, it's already smarter than us at that point. Like,
Yeah. There's, I've talked about this with a bunch of people, that they have this, they have this idea that it's just a tool, and you can use it as a tool. And all of these companies are viewing it as just like, who can be the best AI. But there are some, and I guess this way long road to walk to get to this point. I asked you about war dogs before. There's not really any AI company that's focused on any one thing. They're focused on being the best at
I
everything.
think there's a lot of smaller companies that are creating individual AI agents, though, that are more specified tools.
My friend Tom is working on Fios. It's the metaverse gaming token, like that has AI. I'm gonna have a small amount of it. We'll get him on the podcast again.
Is he building on another system?
No, it's his. He's been
Or
building
is he just doing it
it for like 8. Well, he actually built it years ago. But
so he's like training his own model. He's not like using Quen or ChatGPT as the base.
Let me see what he had said recently. Fios will be to create liquidity. Okay, blah 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 blah. Create team RWI. Fios is going to be intermediary token for liquidity for gaming and metaverse tokens, where DEVVE will be an intermediary token for real world assets and crypto. Gaming and metaverse applications won't be as big as. Actually, I have a freaking website. Hang on, let me. World's platform for AI monetization. I believe Fios will become the definitive global platform for AI monetization, transforming how businesses capture AI's economic value, unleashing potential, unlocking AI's full potential through instant micropayments, seamless cross-company agent collaboration, and a thriving AI agent marketplace ecosystem. 81% monoliths, 19% others. The problem is that rapid innovation and limited monetization. The biggest challenge in AI right now is monetization. There's no unified, efficient platform enabling developers to monetize autonomous AI agents effectively and move past monolithic black box approaches. So that's the problem he's working on. The solution is an integrated marketplace, sophisticated orchestration, and instant payments with all with security and privacy. So that's the problem he's trying to solve.
That's an interesting project. Got a lot of big players to go against.
Yeah,
because I mean, like how easy could OpenAI just integrate payments? You know.
Once the Clarity Act passes this month, it should be a lot easier for everyone to get virtual asset service provider licenses for ETFs and hedge funds to be able to buy it easier. So it should get a lot easier for all these companies. So there's up until 2 weeks from now, there was this, I'll tell you offline, but there was this prime broker that got bought for an insane multiple of their earnings because of the licenses that they had. It was like, it was over a 50x earnings. Like they earned X amount and they got bought for a 50x multiple. Like it was much more than a 50x multiple, but most people thought it was because of the revenues that they did and they're doing stuff in crypto, but it was really because of the fact that the licenses that they had and the bigger company that needed those licenses but couldn't get it because the regulatory waters were insane. They just bought a company that had those licenses and then they could drive the truck through wherever they needed to. That's not going to happen in 6 months from now because of the fact that it's going to be much easier to get these licenses. So there's a bunch of other companies that are going to be bought right now before that happens. Hopefully it happens in January. And that's what my friend Tom, he heads Fios and he also co-founded DEVVE. They have this big announcement they were supposed to do in January. They don't have the virtual asset service provider license. Once they get that, they can do their big announcement. And if they don't get that license, they'll just acquire a company that has that license and then they'll. So yeah, that's what it's looking like for finance for right now. In other news, it has been, totally get that. Okay, cool. It has been, we've been at it for about 2 hours right now. Is there anything we haven't gone over yet that you want to go in and say like, yeah, we missed this? Or
Don't I don't think so.
Cool. I'm glad my Psyduck thing entertained you for the first half hour.
I want to know update. Are you going to keep training it?
Oh yeah. So I have I will next week. I got very busy this week. I'll be the girlfriend comes in like 14 hours, less than
Yay!
that. And
Yay!
then so we'll spend the weekend together, and then I'm busy up through like Wednesday of next week, and then Thursday of next week. But then next weekend I'll be good from like the 9th through like the 13th of being able to be like, all right, we're gonna train it. But the last thing it did, what was the last thing we talked about? Where's this? All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. I might
want to join your project. Would you? Would you care if I joined?
Can we
I haven't
make
played Pokemon since I was little. But if you're gonna try and train it, if I tried to train it too, I wonder more training data, maybe.
Do you have Android or Apple? I feel like it's Android.
Android.
Right? Okay. So you're gonna go to the Play Store, and on the Play Store, you're gonna search John GBC Lite, LITE.
You just have to send me the link.
Okay. Well, I can't send you the link, but I can send you 2 different things. So I'll send you. Where's the?
I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play Pokemon correctly, though, Randy. You're gonna have to tell me. I haven't played since I was little, so.
Okay. Well, who's your favorite star? Who do you want to play with? Do you want to play Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander?
I usually like Squirtle.
Okay, cool. So Squirtle's pretty medium choice. He defeats Brock pretty easily, very, very easily. There's.
So wait, are we trying to get ChatGPT to always pick the same one, or do we want him to just be boss at no matter who they pick?
We want ChatGPT to be able to have all the answers regardless of who normal people pick. And then they ask ChatGPT, hey, what do I do? What's the best strategy here? We want ChatGPT to be well-versed in everything.
Are we sure that you actually know the best way to play Pokemon? Yes. Or can ChatGPT actually discover a better way than you? What do you think?
I think eventually ChatGPT in a couple of years could discover a more efficient and better way, but right now the video that I saw from like 6 days ago, it was trash. And
have you seen any other? Have you tested Grok?
I have not.
Have you tested Claude?
I haven't tried.
You know, I'm ChatGPT loyal, unfortunately, but I am impressed. I am impressed by talking to the other. Claude is very, very data driven. Claude might be good at Pokemon. And
so TCG Mike, we're talking about the video game.
What is it? Oh,
talking about the card game video game.
The video game, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the video games. So
my brother collects Pokemon cards, so.
So the idea that and again, like I would even know the ways
how the other ones work. Gemini might be better too.
It might. So like all of them might know something, but for this type of specialty, I would know more and better ways than 99.9% of normal gamers, which know more than 99.99% of just normal people in general. And again, I only claim this knowledge for the first 2 generations. After that, my knowledge falls off a cliff. But
hey,
yeah,
I feel you. When they started adding more than the original 100 Pokemon, I was like, I'm not memorizing another batch. Like,
dude,
I clocked out after the
it was so good though, because you could breed your Pokemon, and you could have an Arcanine that knew extreme speed. And so what typically happens is that it becomes.
You get all about the moves, and I just want cute Pokemon.
So the only ways to get some of the cute Pokemon in Generation 2 was to breed them, because you can get a Pikachu, you can get a Magmar, you can get Electabuzz, but you couldn't capture their baby Pokemon versions in the wild. You had to breed them. And the only way to do that was to go to Goldenrod and to put them in there. And then the moves, so the Pokemon generally became a male version of what the female was, and it would know the dad's moves. So you could have a male Arcanine that knew Extreme Speed, that knew Flame Wheel, and it would come out, and you could breed it with Eradicate. And the Raticate, it would give birth to an egg. The egg would be a male Rattata, because that's a male version of the female. And it would know Extreme Speed off the bat. It would learn Flame Wheel, because it would know the dad's moves. So you can breed different moves into different Pokemon that otherwise wouldn't have been able to learn that. And it was just such a beautiful system. You would like the second games, because you also, after you beat the Johto version, you can beat all the Kanto gym leaders, and it was updated. Koga was now in the Elite Four, and his daughter Janine was is the new gym leader. And then what happened to Giovanni? He's gone now. Who became the gym leader? It's Blue. Blue became the gym leader of the Viridian, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. And it's just, and then there's a secret battle at the end of the game. It's a beautiful thing. TCG Mike, last game he played was Pokemon Moon. Did I know the new Pokemon names? Only know the TCG game and decks that I like. Yeah, I agree. The newer games are rough. They're slow. It's kind of kid-like, but I guess that's what it's supposed to be. But I would put right now, I would bet almost any amount of money that I would be better at playing the games than any other AI model right now. In 12 months, that might not be
have
true.
to figure out how to test and go about this, because I think this would be fun. We need to find out what AI is best at Pokemon, and if we can help them out.
Yeah. So I got ChatGPT. Like, ask Grok, ask the other ones, ask Claude, and then we'll see where it goes.
I don't know. Who do you think might? I don't know. Who do you think might win?
People have said Gemini is pretty accurate. I think Grok is more like political and whatever. Like, I don't know if any. Again, none of these LLMs have been really focused on this type of stuff. So I think that after 6 months, ChatGPT will be better than the rest of them because of what I've been teaching it.
We'll test the others. We won't train the others, though. We'll see.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We'll train ChatGPT and we'll test where everyone else is.
So
that would be
I texted you a picture of what to search, John GPC Lite, and then I will. What do you want to play, red or blue?
What's the earlier? Or are they? I don't
red
remember.
And blue are the same thing, and then yellow came out afterwards.
Let's do blue.
Okay. All right.
You asked me. You can't be like let down that I picked. You gave me options.
No, I'm not. Like, blue is my favorite version, so I'm going to give you a link.
I'm like, red or blue. I'm wearing blue.
So after you download I still have you in my phone as baby doll. So after you search the John GBC Lite, I sent you a link on a ROM for blue version, and for blue version,
I gotta download an emulator and stuff.
Yeah, the emulator is pretty easy. Can I play TCG? You can Pokemon AI chat. I don't know. You might be able to. Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never really played. For Pokemon, you can probably play with AI if you download the Pokemon TCG game for Game Boy or Game Boy Color, and then you could ask AI what you should do. But again, AI.
I wonder if you can take pictures, like of the layout and stuff as you go on. That's an interesting thought.
I'm not sure. I mean, you can't voice chat AI, right? Because
you can. It's just
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, yeah. He's kind of lobotomized in the voice chat, honestly. I know.
Poor ChatGPT.
I know. It used to be really good. I used to drive around and chat when I was driving for work.
I remember. I remember you doing that.
It was great. I can do my rabbit holes while I'm driving around working. It was great. But then they like nerfed it and it does not deep dive. It will like respond with like a sentence or two when, you know, I want like paragraphs.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so let's end it here. We'll talk off camera for a little bit. Shout out to us being live for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Remind me to move Dashy.
Yes.
I keep forgetting.
I will. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashy. Bye-bye,
Bye,
Dashy.
Happy New Year.
Play some Casino Kid. Oh,
I love that game.
We'll have to talk about that next time.